Welcome in to another edition of the JMU Sports News Podcast. I'm Bennett Conlin, joined by Jack Fitzpatrick, and we are coming off an action-packed Sun Belt Media Day where everybody feels good about their team, and we get no real information from anyone.
Man, I just got back from ACC Media Days too, and you truly get nothing from anyone.
It's gotten worse, I think, too.
Although Bill Belichick was funny.
Yeah, Bob Chesney not as funny. He's taking it pretty seriously up there, talking about the boys.
I like media days because this is what I learned from my first ever media days at ACC Media Days. Sorry, ACC kickoff, right? It's not really about the coaches because you're going to get the same answer for the most part. Like, some of the players were awesome. I talked with Justin Joly, NC State tight end, Caden Ford. Like, talking with some of the players, like, they get a little looser, and if you can create that rapport with them in a at least on Radio Row, like in an instant, you have to create a rapport and then go right into a live interview. But you're really there for like networking, and you're there to like meet other people. At least on Radio Row. This is all coming from a radio experience. Like, being able to talk with Andrew Luck and, Ryan McGee and Will Blackman, all things that you just like are walking around media days and you're like, hey, Ryan, do you have time for a quick 10-minute chat over at ESPN Richmond? He's like, sure, why not? And you're like, all right, perfect. Like, that's what media days really was about.
It's just, you're just eating a lot of food. You're visiting a city. You're talking to a bunch of people. Yeah.
ACC, free dinner with free alcohol.
Oh, that is good. That is pretty good.
That's all.
Can't complain about free alcohol.
I couldn't complain about that. I got myself a nice little toasted brown ale.
Nice, man. I'm happy for you.
Thanks. I'm still like delirious from sleep, though. I will say, like, it was my own doing. I decided to go out with friends afterwards and go brewery hopping around Charlotte, and then
that's one does.
And then waking up for my morning show at 5 a.m., I was like, oh, I probably shouldn't have done that. And then you know what I did that night? Same thing.
We did it again, yeah. That's how it goes. Maybe people were doing that in New Orleans for Sunbelt Media Day. I imagine some people were.
Yeah, it's New Orleans. I would hope you were.
Right? Yeah,
I would hope so.
Could have been Pat McMurtry. He's 25, 26. I hope he enjoyed himself a little.
32.
Hope they let him.
You know who I hope? Never mind. All right. How are you doing, Bennett? How do you want to start off this podcast today?
Let's just go right into news or snooze.
Okay, we'll go news or snooze listener questions, and that should take, and then we'll start position previews. I swear, I think we've been teasing position previews for like months now.
Yeah, we can really crank those out pretty quick though. We could do 2 an episode or something, or 3. Who knows?
Did we have a podcast last week?
We did Take Purge, right?
No,
at the beginning of last week.
That was a joke because you're not supposed to remember Take Purge.
Okay. Sorry, you said you were delirious. So.
I was gonna be like, oh, did we have? I vaguely remember something happening last week.
Speaking of great rapport,
we've been doing this for 7 years now, and
that was brutal. It's a brutal start for us today, but that's all right. Okay,
let's go right into. That was a rookie play.
Let's go right into some of the most boring news or snooze you'll ever get. I want to start with JMU picked to win the East by, snooze. I guess, the coaches and the SIDs, but they've been picked by everyone.
Snooze.
To win the East. You're just snoozing that they're the best team in the East.
Well, we already knew that. Phil Steele said that. Athlon Sports said that. ESPN's FBI said that.
I've seen a few people who are saying that that's not worth anything. So I was curious your take because of how much roster turnover there is for JMU and the rest of the East. Like, do those mean anything preseason?
Well, you know what it does
at this point.
I don't know if this is on news or snooze or not, but I may be spoiling something. It doesn't mean anything because look at who they put as the second team quarterback on Sunbelt. Look how many transfers are on the all Sunbelt team. Not a lot. They clearly don't do their research. So they have just heard the storylines around everything. And JMU has some sort of like, vibes to it. Like people respect JMU, I think, at this point. They have essentially won the East in 2 of their first 3 seasons in the Sunbelt. That comes with a little bit of just preseason respect. And I think that is what that boils down to. And yet the coaches, SIDs, whoever voted on that stuff, they don't they don't do any research. You're telling me Alonzo Barnett is QB2 in this dude's not cleared for contact yet.
That's true. That is true. And
And we'll talk about that, I imagine.
that brings us to our second one. So these are two quotes from Bob Chesney about Alonzo Barnett, but in separate places. Okay, so the first one he said like at the big podium. He says Alonzo is in a good spot with his rehab and he'll be back and ready to go in the near future. He's not fully there for contact yet. And then I guess before that, he had done like the little sit down with like the ESPN Plus guy who really wanted to ask about Alonzo Barnett and like asked in a way that he wasn't asking.
Do you think JMU Communications told them they weren't allowed to ask about quarterback injuries?
If if that's what was they were told, they ran right through that stop sign.
Okay, so he just asked it in a clunky way, is what you're
He
saying.
asked it in a really weird way. He's like, "We don't know if he's even going to play. Only you can tell us." And I'm going to ask you that. I want your answer to that. But he didn't actually like ask. He was just like it was kind
Oh,
of
okay.
weird.
So he was just trying to be like funny, and it just
It was kind of like it was just a weird question which set Chesney up for then what was a weird answer. So I think like the quote is maybe being taken out of context a little because the question came off so
so
strangely.
can you read the kind of the transcript, the question into the answer?
I didn't write down the question, but the question was essentially, is Alonzo Barnett like going to play? He's like, is he going to play? You're the only one who can tell us if he's going to play.
So what's your
So
answer?
I want your answer to that. And then he talked about Alonzo for a while. And then just kind of let Chesney have the floor. So at one point during Chesney's answer, he says Alonzo Barnett will certainly play this year, and he's on track, and he's doing a great job with rehabs and handles himself in a very professional manner. So he says that in a little breakout, which on the broadcast is before they go to the podium. So then later he goes to the podium and says he's not clear for contact. So he says he's certainly going to play. And then 2 hours later, in front of everybody else, he says that he's not clear for contact.
But also when he says he's certainly going to play, and this is what media days brings, right? A lot of diving into words that mean nothing. He's certainly going to play. I mean, does that mean he's certainly going to like get cleared for contact and play the sport of football in the terms of he's going to practice the sport of football and he will like play? Or does it mean he will be the week 8 starter? Like there's a lot of ways you can interpret the word play. And this is the issue I have run into time and time and time again when it comes to Bob Chesney and specifically around Alonzo Barnett. He uses words that aren't clear. He's ahead of schedule. You know, the timetable's looking really good for him. He certainly will play. He's looking good. He's right on. My favorite one was he started one of his quotes with, he's right on, blah, 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 blah. He's ahead of schedule. Well, he can't be both right on and then also ahead of schedule. Also, a schedule we do not know, a schedule that no one has at. You know, a really easy follow up is when he says he's ahead of schedule. Coach, what's the schedule?
I think the DNR said in a story that he was wishy-washy with September. Like he kind of floated September as like
So,
the,
what we were saying
yeah,
for the
yeah.
last
So
two
that
months.
like, right. So I think everything points to him not really being in the competition with Sluka and Coleman to win the starting job, which is kind of what we've said for a while now. But he also says he could play this year. But I don't. I think for me, the big thing this year is just not to put any stock into anything Bob Chesney says about anything.
That is a great point because last year Tyshawn Wyatt was really close to coming back. Iowa Day, this is an injury he's
Yeah,
dealt
both of
with
them.
before. Also, I do love that too. Tyshawn Wyatt was a second team all conference player last year, and he never played a snap. And people then see Alonzo as a second team all conference player, and they're like, this might mean they know something we don't. Well, did they know something we didn't about Tyshawn Wyatt? Like, did they know he
It doesn't
wasn't going to
mean
play?
anything.
It means literally nothing. It means that he was a good quarterback last year who hung
Yes.
70 up on UNC that there's a lot of hope going into. But if I told Charles Huff, did you know Alonzo isn't cleared for contact yet? You know what he probably would say? Oh, shouldn't have voted him second team all conference then.
Right. He probably doesn't care because they're not on their schedule. Like it for Southern Miss. Like that's the thing that I don't think anyone's paid any attention to his status, like nationally. Well, luckily, people have paid attention to his status, but nobody's gotten any information on it. So it's like he's ahead of schedule for a schedule, like you said, he's never shared. Just he's never shared what the schedule is. So we're assuming like ahead of schedule could mean that he's cleared for contact, like you've said, in week one. That could still be like
Week one or
pretty
week two,
good. But that's pretty good for like, having surgery in December on an ACL tear.
which we didn't know was an ACL tear until Phil Steele reported that.
Right. He was the one who actually confirmed, like in June, that he had torn his ACL in December. So there's no information being shared of any relevance. So I would agree. Yeah, I don't know. Like news, snooze. Seems like every time Chesney says anything about an injury, you just automatically snooze it at this point.
Yeah, I go back to when he got mad about them asking about Chauncey Logan's availability after he had said Chauncey will be back next week and was not back next. Like I think that was his direct quote was he should be back next week and he just was not back.
Right. And I guess what the ACC's got
Player
availability
avail, yeah.
reports now for like everything. Sunbelt does not.
Well, football, men's basketball, women's basketball, and baseball. The
Man.
sports you can bet on, they're requiring you to have player
I'm
availability
going to count
reports.
that as everything for these purposes. But yes. So like Sunbelt doesn't have that. They don't force you to put somebody on an injury report, which is where you get these kind of like ridiculously weird and vague statements. And I kind of get it because I think an offense with Barnett or Coleman looks different than an offense with Sluka.
Don't
So I
tell
could
me you're buying
understand.
into gamesmanshipness and
I think that's why he's doing it. Yeah. Like I think that's a part of it. And in the past, I felt like that was dumb and doesn't make any sense. I still think it's dumb,
okay.
but I could see him doing it, and it makes more sense, in my opinion, in this regime where like Signetti and company blew everybody out. Like this team almost lost to Gardner Webb at home. So yeah, I would use some gamesmanship for the Weaver State game, man, because I don't know, the way they looked in a few games last year, you cannot take anything for granted. So yeah, do gamesmanship if it means you're opening with a cruising to 1-0, and maybe you play a couple quarterbacks against Weaver and keep Louisville off guard slightly.
I like it. Okay. I guess. Sure.
We'll see.
But
But
yeah,
Burnett's not going to play.
any injury quote from Chesney, I'm snoozing. Um, yeah, he will certainly play. That is just so broad that you do
It
not.
has to be. It has to be a little, right? Because some of this too, I wonder if it's like internal, where like he probably hasn't told Barnett like you're not playing in 2025. Like I'm sure if Barnett's rehabbing so hard, he might want to hold on to hope that like if things go awry at the quarterback spot in week 6 and he's ready to go and they're 5-1 and in the playoff hunt, he could come in and be the dude.
And maybe that is the case, right? Like maybe, and I'm not saying like you have to medically redshirt him, you have to tell him right now and shut him down and not even give him the hope. No, I'm just saying it is highly unlikely that he will be the quarterback two at any point this the quarterback one at any point this season. So rather than make him your backup, you are probably better off putting him as your QB4 and like not dressing him for games this season unless Sluka goes down, then you probably want to move him to QB2 at that point. And then say, and I'd never want to see this, say it's Cam and Sluka both go down, then I would prefer AB3 over JC if AB3 is healthy. But like,
Right.
I don't think it is a real chance that they will be running out with Sluka and Cam and go into week 8, 5-1, 6-1, 7-0, whatever it may be, and be like, all right, AB3, come on
That's
down. Like
definitely not going to
that's
happen.
not going to
Right.
happen. So that is where I'm coming from when I'm so adamantly saying they should just medically redshirt him because unless there is a catastrophic injury bug that hits the QB room, there's not there's not a defendable coaching reason for putting AB3 in this season.
Yeah, and also for
For
him,
more than
right?
4 games. More than 4 games. I know there's that weird rule with the medical red shirt and everything. So
Sure.
technically they could, play him in 4 games. And maybe that's what they do, like winning formation against Coastal. Come on out,
Right.
Alonza.
Right. Like, yeah.
But th- it
Yeah.
would be indefensible if he played 5 games this season. Go ahead. Sorry.
And he's got to maximize, like, Delvin Joyce will get mad at me, but like, I don't know if he's an NFL draft pick. Like Alonzo, he's certainly not at this point. Like, he'd have to have a really good finish
Well,
to his career. So, like, he's got to maximize that like NIL rev share era, I think, for like that would be the smart thing to do. So you don't want to waste a season when you're like maybe you're still a little tentative on your knee when you could sit out, get fully healthy. Maybe you stay at JMU, maybe you don't, but you just try to like really maximize your value, which a lot of players have done and done well. Like some of the guys who went to Indiana, like some pretty good coin. So I don't know. I would just say like for him, there's no reason to rush, and for JMU, there's no reason to rush him back.
Yes. I mean, he may have NFL like talent. He definitely can make those like far hash
Yeah.
throws on the money. And that's another thing. Like even if he does have NFL aspirations, right? He probably shouldn't play on a bum knee this year that he's not 100% confident in. He probably shouldn't play in a season where he wasn't able to take live reps the entire offseason,
Right.
regardless of if he wants the
Right.
NIL maximization or if he wants an NFL career, because
Yeah.
either way, like he would probably benefit from having more practice reps and more ability to grow as a player. Because he is a little undersized, but he's got a good arm. He's got a great arm. I mean, you
Mhm.
don't hit a Marion Dollison on the money 70 yards down the field because you got a noodle for an arm. Like he's got the stuff. He's got to put it together. And I think whether it's NFL or NIL, he is probably better off not playing this year.
But he'll certainly play this year. Okay. Number three, big scoop for us. That wasn't even really a scoop. We just asked. But news or snooze, Holy Cross transfer defensive lineman William Robinson, my guy, I was excited about him, will not be on the team this fall.
Snooze.
Snooze. That's my guy, man.
Sure. I forgot he even committed.
Fair enough. I liked his positional versatility, so I'm losing it personally. 3 years of eligibility left. Impact player can play defensive end, defensive tackle, but they do have a lot of bodies there, so it probably isn't a big deal. Unclear why he's not on the team, but he will not be on the team.
Snooze.
All right, there you go. Snooze, 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 snooze.
Snooze. Shh, shh,
You're
shh.
sleepy.
I'm sleepy. I but with Alonzo, like just he's right on, blah 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 blah. He's ahead of schedule. All right, Chesney. Like, okay. He certainly will play this season. It's 2 weeks before camp starts. He's not cleared for contact. What?
Yeah, and then it creates a bunch of like weird, I don't know, the theories and stuff are weird, like you had mentioned. He's listed as a second team guy. It's like, right, well, they also didn't list like any transfers anywhere on this. So they basically just gave any returning player who was worth anything a spot on the preseason team, right? Like
Yes.
realistically, Sluka, based on his career, should probably be one of the quarterbacks listed. Like, I don't know. He's had a more productive college career than Braxton at Southern Miss, and everyone just assumes that he's going to be like this superstar because he went from Marshall to Southern Miss, even though they don't have nearly the same offensive line. But you know, it is what it is. It is what it is.
It is what it is.
Listener questions?
Listener questions. All right. Number one, Richie Goodman at JMU Hater. Where did Richie get all his aura from? And do you think JMU Nation will ever like him? Copy and paste. We're doing the same question again.
I don't think Richie's just hated. I feel like he's
Rich,
got some engaging content.
Richie be dodging us though.
Yeah, he do be dodging us.
Kind of messed up there from Richie. Sidelines asked your thoughts on ODU's out of conference in men's hoops, light on home games but heavy on good games against power conference teams.
We
I mean
really
that,
are becoming an ODU pod.
and this is from sidelines.
I know.
Um, thoughts on that's just the future of men's basketball scheduling, whether you like it or not. Like, if you want power conference games, you probably aren't going to get a power conference team to come to your home gym unless you sign like a 2 or even a 3-for-1. Like, just the power they wield in hoops nowadays, like you you aren't going to get UVA back in the AUBC for a 1-and-1 like we signed in like what 19, 20, 21.
Yeah, ODU schedule's nice. I don't remember it all off the top of my head, but it looked fun. So I'm hoping JMU doesn't have a total clunker of a schedule, but we'll see.
We'll see. Like that's a tough one. But that's just the future of it. Like you're not going to have a lot of home out of conference games if you want good games. And if you're okay with scheduling Coppin State, Morgan State, LIU, and schools like that, then you will have more home games. It's just what do you want to do? And it's going to come from an edict from the Sun Belt eventually of like, if we want to be more legit in college basketball, you probably are going to have to go on the road more often and get those power conference games and get those top 75 Ken Palm win opportunities.
Yeah. Also, unrelated note, I'm gonna need some games to start up here with sidelines. I was seeing sidelines and some fans are going back and forth on whether there could be a train through campus, and it's like, yo, I
A
need
passenger train. There is already a train through campus, Bennett. A
right,
passenger train.
right, a passenger train. They weren't too interested in like the corn and all that good stuff passing through. But I don't know, man. I need some games. We're talking about passenger trains on campus. I want to argue about whether the Dukes can beat Louisville and Liberty. I'm out on the train combo.
All right. Tim said, Tim Emery, I'm just here to defend Dom's excellent take.
Women's basketball, 11 or 12 seed.
JMU
Stamp
football
it.
take purge.
Stamp it.
Love Dom. Only person to sign his name. Are the Dukes better this year and are the Sun Belt teams worse? Prediction on number of wins. That's from Glenn.
Um, I think they're better, right, than last year?
On
Probably.
paper, they are better.
Yeah, yeah. Are
Are
the
the some
Sunbelt
yes,
teams worse?
yes. Marshall got exponentially worse.
Marshall's worse.
Marshall were did I say
Yeah,
App and
Marshall.
Marshall?
Like, no, we want to really reiterate though. Like, Marshall sucks.
Marshall lost everyone. Um App I think isn't going to be
They lost
necessarily
a
great.
lot,
And their head coach, they lost their head coach.
which I think they're stoked about, but
Yeah.
they did lose their head coach.
Um Coastal, I don't know what to make of Coastal. They lost their
Man, I don't
quarterback,
know.
Ethan Vasco's now at Liberty.
He couldn't get enough of losing to JMU.
I'm trying to think who else. Georgia State's Georgia State. Georgia Southern's going to be good for the first 2 months of the season, but bad
Southern
for the
could be nice. So I might be buying in the Southern hype, man. ODU,
OD,
we're on the ODU train.
ODU's ODU. I think that's it.
Yeah, in the West, like I don't know. They do play the two best teams in the West.
So it is
Um,
lining up well for them to put
yeah.
together a very nice college football playoff resume.
I got them winning 11 games right now.
I've got them
That's
winning 15.
okay. Yeah, that checks out. I was doing regular season, but yeah, I guess we can have them marching toward a natty.
Um, I do think this is a big year. I think every year from now until 2030 is like a massive year, not just for JMU football, but like for Sun Belt football.
Yeah,
Because if you're able to solidify yourself over the next couple of years as a premier group of five football team, football conference, you're going to make a lot of money in media rights. And you could potentially take down the AAC or sorry, the American
American, yes, with the
because
Eagle.
Memphis is offering $200 million to buy their way into the Big 12.
So sick.
I mean, there's a lot that's going to happen. UNC is reportedly flirting with the SEC,
A lot of
and
flirtations, yeah.
I feel like SEC would love to have Bill Belichick in their conference. Although I don't know if they'd let him big time the conference like he did the ACC.
What did he do?
Didn't even come down to Radio Row. Every coach comes down to Radio Row. Is a requirement.
I like that for him.
There were rumors that he wasn't going to go to the breakout room.
He barely did.
He did, but it was essentially a second press conference. Like he did his
Yeah.
press conference and then he goes to the breakout room and it was so many people that they set it up with 3 rows of chairs,
Oh my
risers for
gosh.
all of the cameras, and then there was probably 20 people on each side of him as well as the 3 rows of chairs being filled, and they had to have a UNC person like run a press conference,
And
and they
that
didn't
was
allow any mics or recorders at the table. And the ACC
oh,
digital network or whatever, I guess, was live streaming it because they had the
just as
ACC
a
mic
second
there.
presser.
Like it was insane.
That's sweet, man. That's why you hire Bill Belichick.
Jordan Hudson, not spotted.
Hmm. That would have yeah, that would have been stupid if she showed up. I feel like that would have led to a lot of questions and PR nightmare.
James Turner asked, Does JMU lock in any other solid television broadcasted games this season above ESPN Plus? I mean, yeah, probably all of them, like they have the last couple of years.
They'll get some good ones, and then Shane Mettler at the DNR has beat the drum for a while that they do stick some of the good games on ESPN Plus because that is a product that ESPN wants people to pay for.
Especially now with them going towards their like
Yeah.
$30 a month streaming service that they're
Yeah. So if there's some good ones on there that have intrigue, I wouldn't be shocked if like the Liberty game and maybe some others ended up on there.
or
Or
like
I don't know
even
what
JMU
Liberty,
Coastal.
maybe some others. I don't know exactly who has the rights to the Liberty home game. But anyway,
Aiden Schultz asks, what are your biggest fears about JMU football this year? Position group, schedule, conference, etc.
they win too much and become too popular nationally. No, I would say my biggest fear is the September schedule, where like if you lose to Louisville and Liberty, your playoff chances are just like dead, probably. And I would be interested to see how the team, fans, like, media, everybody would react to that.
I think I said something like this last week, and last week I was protected by the take purge. This week
Yes.
I'm not protected by the take purge, and I'm still going to say it. I am worried, and this is my biggest fear,
Yeah.
that the 4-4 run was more of the norm than the 4-0 run. Like we all as JMU fans, I'm very guilty of it, pointing to the start of the season and going, look, look at how good they were. And then you crunch the numbers, and it was a really ugly first half against Charlotte. You nearly lose to Gardner Webb. Like I was guilty of that. And then you completely discount the 4-4 stretch that had us thinking about jumping off a cliff because they won their bowl game with Billy Atkins and JC Evans.
Mhm.
My biggest fear around JMU football is that the 4-4 stretch that we all have collectively forgot about is the norm for this team.
Hmm. I like that.
Aiden Schultz also asked, what other Sunbelt team will give the Dukes the most trouble in chasing their first Sunbelt championship? ODU, baby. I think genuinely Coastal.
Ah, I'm not on board with that.
I just don't have any hope in, maybe it's Southern. Maybe Southern.
Can I take a West team or no?
Oh, I didn't even think that West was West was an option. Is it Louisiana?
I might say like Texas State. It's a road Tuesday game. I feel like that could weirdly mess with them in October against a unique offensive scheme. They're pretty good offensively. They don't play any defense though, which is a positive. But last year, like Jamie went on the road and they just looked like garbage outside of the UNC game. So I'm a little worried about them in some road contests.
Sounds good. Sorry, my washer just started. Put some blankets in there, and when your washer's a little off
Oh,
balance, and it's like
yeah, that's
gunk,
tough,
gunk,
man.
gunk, gunk, and I thought someone was just pounding on the door. That was scary. All right, I'm not going to ask Guppy's last question.
Yeah, don't ask Guppies. Good call, man.
You
It's
are
rare we don't ask a question on here, but Guppy went too far.
Guppy. That's not this vibe.
No, it is not.
Here's a question. I'll adapt Guppy's question.
Okay. I don't know how you
JMU
possibly do
title,
that.
JMU Sunbelt title, or men's basketball NCAA tournament Sweet 16 appearance.
Do they make the playoff in football or they just win the conference?
Win the conference, make the college ball playoff, but you lose 55-14 in the first round.
Sweet 16, baby. Give me that Sweet 16 every day. That would be so. There's a chance, though, that I was thinking about that. If they make the playoff, like, in like, if Chesney would be so primed to get poached.
Would they
Is
lose
he
their
is he
coach
even
before?
coaching the team? Is it like a Marshall situation to drop out of the playoff? Like, what's happening? Are you guys staying? Are they all in the portal? Are they playing, but they're in the portal?
I would hope that like that would involve some like hush hush. We're not reporting that he's gone and he's still going to
Oh
coach type
man,
of thing.
that's hard though.
You look at what happened with Mike Houston. He leaked his own Charlotte hiring to get ECU. And where
That
is he
guy was
now?
electric. Leaked his own thing, starts bawling his eyes out.
And then
How
takes
could this have leaked? You leaked it.
And then ECU hires him like literally 24 hours later
Oh my God.
as he's on the sideline at Colgate having snowballs thrown at him.
Now he's at Clemson.
Is he like an assistant with Dabo?
He's like an analyst or something. Yeah, it's one of those like doing the Alabama thing.
I should have asked
Fired
Dabo yesterday
analyst.
about his thoughts on Mike Houston.
That would have been sick, yeah.
I was gonna ask Gio Lopez yesterday. So why are you running from JMU?
Gio Lopez is electric, man. I would love South Alabama last year. Where'd Fluff go? Didn't Fluff go somewhere too? Bothwell? He's at like a SEC school.
Fluff Bothwell?
Yeah, was there like one of their stud running backs?
Oh, okay.
He went to Mississippi State. That seems like kind of a lame move for him, but
Speaking of people that went to Mississippi State but are no longer there, Jesse Ramil, he has now resurfaced in
yes.
Charlotte.
Yeah, I forgot about that one.
So
That's
did
an
I. And
interesting
then
one.
they posted a TikTok and there he was. And I was like, oh, jump
Oh,
scare. Oh, there you are. Forgot
man.
about you.
But camp's coming up. I guess they start probably next week then,
Like
right?
next week. Yeah.
Yeah. That's interesting.
Can't wait to hear all about Alonzo Barnett being right on ahead of schedule.
Do you think we're going to get a single interesting thing at a camp this year?
I hope we do, but I don't think we will.
No, I think it's going to be a real dull August, to be honest.
But news or snooze will be electric because we will overanalyze everything. So Chesney used the preposition. What is a preposition? I don't even know. Uh,
With
he used the
would be an
preposition
example of a
with.
preposition.
That's what you come to the JMU Sports News podcast for.
That's my favorite preposition, personally.
With.
Yeah.
How did you pronounce it? With.
With. Why?
With. With.
With.
With.
No, that sounds like you're like Mike Tysoning it.
Jack is with Bennett.
Like it's with Bennett.
You would say Bennett is with.
Yeah, I would say it like that. Like
With.
we we're with each other. This is one of our best podcasts in a long time. Like we cooked today.
All right. Anything else you got to add?
No, I guess really quick, we went to TBT.
Oh yeah, we did. It
It
was
was
a
all right.
Matt met Matt Moderno.
Yeah, he's cool.
He's cool. If you don't follow him, if you like Wizards, I recommend following Matt. If you like DMV hoops, I recommend following Matt. The game itself was a really fun first half.
Yeah, it's just tough to see him lose every time, you know. It's
They are
like
now
we gotta change something up here.
we're now
Maybe
0-3.
that's exiting the tournament forever. Maybe it's partnering with Richmond or something or VCU to do like a half and
I
half
liked
or
your
even
thought
UV.
on Jamie Sports News, like create like a
Yeah,
Commonwealth team and you try to get like a alumni rep from every school.
that'd be kind of cool.
And then
Maybe harder logistically with like sponsors and stuff. I don't know. But hey, it was cool that they did it. It was cool that they hosted. It was fun to be there. But yeah, it's definitely not like I think I built it up more in my head in terms of like this is huge for the
well,
brand.
it
And that's not really true.
it's cool when you're watching the game on a summer day on
Yeah,
ESPN or Fox Sports. It's not as cool when you're in the arena and you see the 500 people and you're like,
that's a good point.
oh, why am I sitting in the media section all the way up here? Why did they not? Huh? It's really cool
Yeah.
on TV. It is a great television product.
Yeah, because it's just a great way to like tune in randomly in July
Yeah,
to some like fun hoops. Yeah, that's fair.
it is an awesome television product, especially when your team is on Fox or ESPN. JMU was on YouTube, but hey, Shell Shock won the regional.
Yeah, I didn't have a chance to go back and watch any of the JMU on YouTube, but the announcers for Shell Shock's regional final were cracking me up, man. Every time there was a loose ball, they'd be like, $1 million loose ball. And it's like, well, they still got a lot of steps left.
Apparently, the announcers were saying a lot of if he hits this free throw, the roof is gonna come off this place.
What?
All right, man. This is Magic Show against Rose Love Thunder. There are 10 people in attendance, and none of them are here for these two teams.
It's gonna come off this place.
All right. For Bennett Conlon, I'm Jack Fitzpatrick. Have a wonderful rest of your day. We'll talk to you next week with position previews coming up. If you don't already, like and subscribe, JMU Sports News Podcast, wherever you find your podcast, and we would greatly appreciate it if
Yes, we would.
you rated us and left us a little comment, left us a little nice thing that made us feel good about ourselves. Like 3 people have rated us 1 star. So if you could just please go in on Apple Podcasts and make those not really count anymore by just dropping a bunch of 5 stars, we'd greatly
That's
appreciate it.
brutal. Yeah.
And if you leave us a 1 star, put your name behind it and leave an actual comment with it. That's all I'm gonna say
Yeah, that's fair. It's a
because
good
it
question.
bunch of
Yeah.
bunch of bunch of keyboard warriors hiding behind their 1 star, no name to it. Come on, brother. So for Bennett, I'm Jack Fitzpatrick. Thanks so much for tuning in to the JMU Sports News Podcast. We'll be back next week. See you.